Hi there. We're doing some stretches today, focusing specifically on the back. This is a great stretch to do at any point in the day. It can be nice to get moving in the morning, take a break midday. It's also a really nice wind down at the end of the day. So anytime is great for this particular stretch. We're gonna start laying on our backs, and if you're on carpet, you may or may not want a mat, but if you're on hard floor, definitely have a mat. The other thing to mention is you could do a lot of these right in your bed if you wanted to. So we're just gonna start by hugging our knees in towards our chest. And you can reach for your lower shin or up closer to your knees. And this is just a very, very gentle lower back stretch. I want you to try to rest your shoulders down. And if this for any reason feels uncomfortable on your neck, you can always get a pillow to support your head a bit here. And we're just gonna hold here. We're gently pulling the knees. And so that's lifting your glutes, your rear end away from the floor just a tiny bit. And we'll take a few more breaths here. If you'd like to, you can add a small rock from side to side, very small, and kind of think about massaging your lower back right down into the floor or the surface that you're on. All right, and then from there, we're going to a spinal twist. So I'm going to have you set your feet back down, and I'm keeping the bend in my knees. So they're bent quite a bit. You don't want to be way out here. So walk those feet back and bring your knees together and your feet together. We're gonna take the arms wide here. You can bring them out straight or keep some bend in your elbows. And then I want you to just shift your hips over to one side a couple of inches, not a whole lot. And then you're gonna let those knees come down in the other direction, away from that direction you scooched over towards. And you just let them come down. And you are trying to keep both of your shoulders on the floor, so that twist is really coming around your torso. And then if you'd like to, you can turn your head to look in the opposite direction. And really try to just rest and let yourself be heavy in this. If that felt uncomfortable, if it's too much twist, you could set a pillow or a prop to hold your knees up higher here, because again, you really just want to be able to let go and be heavy in this stretch. Let's start coming back to center. So we'll bring our knees back up and take them through the center. And then of course, we're gonna go over to that other side. So we shift the hips over a few inches there, and then let the knees float down to that other side. And then we'll look again over the opposite shoulder. I'm really trying to keep my shoulders close to the floor. We like to sit in these for some time. I mean, really at least 30 seconds, maybe even a full minute or more, but at least 30 seconds in these, because with some time you'll feel things start to open up, and you'll probably get a bit deeper into even this resting posture without even trying, definitely without forcing. Take one more breath right here. We're going to start to work our way back to center. Okay, we're going to do one more stretch while we're down here. This is a figure 4 stretch. So we'll keep one foot on the floor, and then we'll take the other and cross the ankle over just above the knee. Okay, and this starts to get into the glutes and hips, which are so closely connected to your back. Everything is connected. So we're gonna stretch this one as well. So let's think about pointing the toes back towards your shin. And then I want you to just think about, without forcing, letting that knee start to open up so that knee comes out and forward just a little bit. So you'll start feeling that through your hip and your glute on that side. And then you can stay right here. That can be plenty. Or you can kind of combine hugging knees towards your chest and this posture here. So you're holding on behind the thigh and trying to keep that head resting down, and then gently pulling your legs in closer towards you. And I'm going to keep flexing both of my feet, both my toes back towards my shins. I'm just trying to keep my back long and on the floor. We'll take a couple more breaths here. And if you're pulling, give one more gentle pull and then sit down. And we'll go over to the other side. So we're just going to switch our feet here and cross that opposite foot over. And take your time, okay? Get settled in. Feel each side individually, okay? You'll notice when you're exercising, I think especially stretching and doing things like yoga, that you're not really symmetrical, okay? Things will feel different from one side to the other. So again, you can stay here, or you can reach through and bring those feet in towards you, legs in towards you, or you can keep them right here. I know for myself, this is one place where I feel different side to side, and it's going to be better for me to stay here. So when you find yourself forcing something just to keep up, maybe with the instructor or even with yourself on the other side, take a step back, see how you're feeling, feel the stretch, and do what feels better for you. And in both, we're again pointing those toes back towards the shin. We're keeping that spine long on the floor here. Let's take one more breath here. Deep breath in and out. All right. From here, bring that foot down. We're going to carefully roll onto one side, and then let's come up to a seat, and we're just going to sit for a couple of stretches here, and then we're going to turn back over. We'll face the floor. So I want you to sit tall, and something I want to point out is that you can actually do our next stretch seated, or you can do it where I'm about to show you. So this is going to be cat and cow. So we'll bring the heart forward and draw the shoulders back here. This is cow, seated. And then for cat, we do the opposite. We're going to let the shoulders come forward, and we'll round the spine here. So we're trying to create space through that upper back, separating your shoulder blades and also lengthening, picturing your neck and your upper back lengthening. Then we'll come forward, look forward, draw the shoulders back. And then again to cat. So we press the chin right down to the chest and we let that back curve. We're going to do a few more rounds of this, so if you liked that, you can stay there. If you're comfortable coming onto hands and knees, I'd like you to do that. And we'll take those hands right under the shoulders and the knees are under the hips. Toes are untucked here. And so cat-cow here. We'll inhale, press the belly down, look forward. This is cow. And then we'll exhale, lift the spine and press your chin right onto your chest. And I want you to move with your breath through this movement. So inhaling as you look forward and exhaling as you allow that back to dome, chin to chest. And take that a few more times, moving with your own breath. And think about, in this cat here, pushing your hands into the floor like you're trying to really almost get away from it. Okay, let's take one more round. All right, and we are going to come on to our belly for this next one. Okay, we're doing Sphinx Pose, and this is a gentle back bend. Okay, for Sphinx Pose, you're taking your shoulders right over your elbows. The elbows align right underneath your shoulders from top to bottom, and then also widthwise, so I don't want you out here. And then we're going to spread the fingers wide. My toes are untucked. And think about almost gripping the floor with your hands, okay? So with your palms, you're going to press into your palms and start this energetic kind of drawing back. And then look forward and think about pressing your belly down, pressing down through your hip points. And my neck is actually fairly neutral. Okay, so I'm not here. I'm really just looking forward. We're going to take just a few breaths here. And this shouldn't feel crunchy in the lower back. If it does, I would have you find a place actually where you could stay a little bit lower. Okay, that's one case where I'd have you change that alignment. And let's take one more breath here. And release it out. All right, guys, we are gonna take a Cobra next, baby Cobra. And again, this is another back bend. If you want to, you can kind of cleanse what we just did, bend those knees, windshield wipe the legs, let them turn side to side a couple times. That should feel really nice. And then we'll take a baby Cobra. And now, thing to keep in mind in a baby Cobra is that you're actually quite active. Okay, you're going to be engaging through your lower back and also through your abdomen. So I want you to think about that. I want you to, when we lift up into this, we'll be getting lighter and lighter into the hands. I want you to think about engaging your abs to help yourself stay there. Okay, so we're gonna start down on the mat. We'll place hands just outside of your chest and then draw those elbows back so they're narrow, they're not out wide. And we'll look forward, just neutralizing the spine, and then lightly pressing into your hands will peel the chest away from the floor. And again, we're getting light on those hands. I am feeling engagement through my mid and low back. I'm really trying to relax my glutes here and let my back and reminder of those abs, think about them, there they are. Let those abs help you out. I want you to feel the difference. Relax your abs And now engage them again, tighten up that belly. You'll see that difference. Okay, let's take just one more breath here. Deep breath in and out. I'm gonna have you bring your hands forward, let yourself turn your head so your cheek is resting on your hands. And I just want you to relax into this. We'll stretch, just passively stretching through the neck. And let's take it to the other side for just a couple of breaths. Come back to center. I'm going to have you bring your hands back out like you were doing that Cobra again. But this time we're going to press up, all the way up and back, okay? And here we're going to do a child's pose, okay? For child's pose, we're taking our knees out wide, about as wide as the mat. And then I'm going to have you come forward. So I'm sitting my hips back towards my heels. And I want to point out, if that's uncomfortable for you, you can stay up higher. You could even do this, I like to do this standing sometimes. So you'd place your hands on something like a desk or a counter, and then you just sit back, okay? So if kneeling doesn't feel good, try one of those options. And now in that child's pose, you can have arms extended long, or you can bend the elbows and let your head rest on your arms. Or again, you could use a block or a pillow or some kind of a prop right here. And I do want your neck to rest, okay? Let your head and neck rest right down to a support. And then stay here, and I want you to kind of crawl your fingers forward so we get into a more active reach in this child's pose. And you'll start feeling that along the outsides, just underneath your arms and through the upper widest part of your back. And keeping those hips low, we'll angle this stretch. So we're gonna walk both hands over to one side. You can do this again standing or down here on the mat. And we're taking both hands off to one side. If you're on a mat, they're even off of the mat. And then you'll feel this lengthening through, we'll call that your top arm. And I want you to even crawl that arm a little bit further forward than the bottom arm. And feel that lengthening going up the side of your torso and your waist. And let's take one more breath here. And then bring it over to the other side. So we'll walk those hands over and let the head come down. I'll take my top arm and crawl it a tiny bit further forward. I'm still trying to sit heavy into my hips. Take one more breath here, deep breath in and out. And let's come back to center and just take 3 more breaths here. So walk those arms out so they're long. Deep breath in. Let it out. Inhale. Exhale. One more full breath in and out. And start looking forward. Let's walk the hands back. And we're going to take just a few more stretches here. You can be seated on the floor if that's comfortable for you. You could also be in a chair or standing for these, okay? So let's inhale, reach both arms forward, chin to chest, just like we did in that cat posture. We're letting that spine curve here. And I want you to think about stretching the neck this time. So really pushing your chin down to your chest. One more breath here. And carefully release the hands. We'll sit up top. Okay, we'll stretch the side of the neck. So for this one, I'm going to have you just lean your head. You're angling it over like you're bringing your ear towards your shoulder. And you could stay right there. I don't recommend ever forcing really any stretches, but especially protect your neck and protect your spine. If you wanted to add a little bit more here, you could take the hand on the side that you're stretching and reach it away. So you're going to reach that arm long towards the floor. So we're lengthening right through that side. And keep breathing. And let's sit up nice and tall. And then let yourself recenter before you go to the other side. And then slowly start taking it over. Ear coming towards that shoulder. Maybe take a breath or two there. And if it sounds good to you, take that same side arm and reach it down. So we're creating length right through that side of the neck. And deep breath in and let it out. And carefully come back up to center. Let's tuck the chin to the chest, cat back, seated or standing even. And then come forward, let the shoulders draw back. Lift your chin. One more time, inhale, sit back. And exhale, come forward. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this back stretch. I will see you next time.